Open the Ashford Inland Wetland Watercourse Commission meeting for Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021. First item of business is seating of alternates. And thankfully, we've got two alternates tonight. Cheryl, if you could sit for Jack Barkley,
Okay.
and Ken, if you could sit for Ray Fenn.
Okay.
That'd be great. Okay. Item 2 under tonight's meeting is to review and approve the minutes of the January 5th, 2020 regular meeting. Should be
Move
2020,
to approve.
2021. Okay. Did you all get a copy of it? I know it was sent out.
Yes.
Okay. Cheryl, I thought you had the night off.
I
Okay.
told him you left half an hour ago.
Yeah. All right. So, everybody got a copy of it, and have you reviewed it? Anybody?
I read it.
Okay. Cheryl Chase, did you read it too?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Were there any changes? Anybody want to make any changes on it?
Nope.
No. Okay. Can we have a motion then to accept the minutes as presented?
I move to accept the minutes as presented.
And second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Thank you. Just for your information, Joe cannot make the meeting tonight. He's got some personal things to tend to. So that's why we're moving right along here. Item number 3 is additions to agenda. I do not have any. I did speak with Joe today. He did not indicate that there was anything to add. Anybody know of anything that needed to be added?
No.
Okay. Okay, we'll move to item number 4, which is old business, 96 Knott Highway. And let me just read that section of the minutes from the last meeting about that. So where we stand, well, let's go. Wetlands violation associated with this site is recounted in prior minutes. Discussion centered around the discrepancy between the two sets of wetland delineations before the commission and how the wetlands could be protected from future incursions. After listening to the discussion, Gaudette indicated that he would ask a soil scientist to provide an addendum to explain the discrepancy between the delineations and for protection of the wetlands. He would present a design of a permanent fence or guardrail to the commission at a future meeting. The application was tabled to the next meeting. So what we have at this point is we have a cease and desist order in place on that property. We did do a site walk out there, and we have an application in front of us. Because of COVID, we get to extend the typical time limit. So we're still within that time limit for the application. He did send us a letter from his wetland agent, and I know Cheryl Chase read it thoroughly. Cheryl, could you tell us a little bit about what's in that letter?
Right. So George Logan is the soil scientist that was hired by the applicant to delineate the wetlands. Sent us a letter that indicated that he understood that we were trying to understand why the wetlands delineation was different from the one in the original old plan. And what he did was he explained how he delineated the wetlands, using soil sampling. And also he went and did aerial photography review. He says that while there is it's definitely possible that there is some old fill that was placed possibly after the wetlands were delineated originally. It's a little bit difficult to tell because the way the trees are growing, and there's stumps, and so he did not give us a definitive answer on that, but he feels that based on his review that there hasn't been any new fill in the wetland area itself, aside from perhaps the disturbance that was made with the incursions into the wetlands where the vehicles and brush and all that kind of stuff, that there wasn't any new fill placed probably, he said, not long after 2007. So, you know, that's a little vague. However, what he's basically saying is that the parking lot that was that little pad that was put on, that we've been seeing is not in the wetlands. So, you know, in the absence of a third opinion, I don't know that we could pursue anything further on that.
Yep. Good. Very good. I thank you for that. So his letter or the notes from the last meeting did say that he was going to provide us a design for a permanent fence or guardrail at a future meeting. This is a future meeting, and I didn't see anything. Did anybody get anything on that?
Yes, we received a detail on the the rail.
Oh, okay. What is that? Just describe it for me.
Oh, right. So, well, okay. I need to go off.
Was it in that letter, the wetlands letter?
No, there was a separate
Okay.
there was a separate thing. I can't really I can't share my screen, so
You should put it up to your where your camera is.
I can't do that because it's on my
Oh.
screen.
Oh, okay.
I didn't print it.
All right.
But there's two pieces of paper. One is the plan that was, you know, it's the same plan sheet, but it shows the location of the wood barrier. And
Thanks, Bob.
oh, good. Okay, there's that one, and so that's the detail. And then there's also a plan. I don't know if can you pull that up, Bob?
Plan of what? Which plan?
That one.
That's it.
No,
That
no,
one?
that's not it. It's a new one with a solid line around the back.
That one.
I don't see anything now. Did I lose you? Oh yes, that one. So right, so there's that. Exactly, that's the plan. And yeah, so that's what we received.
Yeah, well, that's so just looking at that plan, that's kind of what we had in our mind, right? When we looked at that.
I think it is, except that I thought that the wood barrier was going to go all the way around the property, but I see that they've got proposed waste blocks, and I'm unsure as to why those would be there instead of the wood barrier, because that's how he kind of got into trouble the first time, was by having blocks that
The
kind
big
of
concrete blocks, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to
But-
extend the existing concrete blocks with similar blocks, and then pick up from there to that new proposed wood barrier.
Right, but I thought we asked for a wood barrier the entire way,
Yeah.
especially, you know, the area of the concrete blocks that he's showing is pretty close to the wetland boundary on that
Yeah.
end.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go back to the design drawing of the wall for a second. I just want to. So it's 3 feet tall, which is fine. Pressure treated 4x4 posts. Looks like they go into the ground 2.5 feet. And then the posts are 6 feet apart. You know, that to me that looks good to me as far as a design goes. What do you think, guys?
I think the design is fine.
Yes.
Okay.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
How does this compare to the 2007 requirements that were never met?
Oh, the what? Say that again. I got a phone call at the same time. Sorry.
In 2007, September 12, 2007, there was a letter from Inland Wetlands to then owner William Rogerson, and it delineated the wetlands then, and they were required to put up fencing. So how does this this proposal compare to what was required in 2007?
Well, I'm trying to remember back that far, but the fencing that we ended up with was that the waste blocks, those big concrete blocks. And at that time, I don't believe that that the area of fill was quite as wide.
Well,
And,
yeah, because
you know,
the original fencing wasn't put up to keep that from happening. It
yeah,
would be my guess. So
Yeah.
I'm asking why the 2007 barrier is not being put up rather than letting,
well, the 2007 was put up. That's what those concrete blocks were. That first section of those concrete blocks, that's what we ended up with, and that's what we approved, far as I can remember.
number 1C, fencing behind proposed storage area to prevent further intrusion into 100-foot upland river area, review area wetlands.
Yeah,
Plantings of large shrubs and or trees along proposed fencing for aesthetics,
yeah,
posting of wetland buffer signage. So
yeah.
wouldn't we
I-
require them to,
Yeah, I don't
to-
remember, but I mean, all I can remember is that the fencing ended up being those very big, heavy concrete blocks.
right, that was in
And-
another section, you're correct. It was required, new concrete block retaining wall in place of current wall. And then it went on to say posting of the wetland buffer and the fencing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember them putting up any signs, but that was a long time ago. It could have easily come down at this point. There is some shrubs out there. So I'm not sure where we asked for any kind of shrubs. We certainly wouldn't have asked to put shrubs in the wetland area. So
Oh.
I mean, it was a long time ago, and I'm assuming that they did what they were instructed to do.
Is
So-
there fencing behind the proposed storage area to prevent further intrusions into 100-foot upland review area?
I mean, the
wasn't
only
on this
fencing
right
the only fencing I know of that we had looked for at that point was those big concrete, barriers.
Mhm.
I mean, it might be getting confused with fencing and concrete barriers. I don't know, but
No.
I mean,
They're both listed. There's two
Yeah.
separate items.
yeah, I can't remember. I just can't remember. But anyway, the property changed hands, and then there was some work that was done, and that's what prompted us to put a cease and desist order on it. And that's what, and then from there, the owner was asked to, to put a plan together, which they did do, a very good
I
engineering plan.
recall
And then-
January 28th.
Yeah,
I
and-
spoke with Joe about it.
yeah, that was
Of
a good,
2020.
yeah, it was a good plan. And then further, we asked them to give us some information from the soil scientist so that we could kind of reconcile between, what happened back then and what's in the field today, because what's in the field today is what's important to us at the moment.
Mhm.
And from what Cheryl just said, we do believe that there's a rational explanation about the differences. And also Joe gave us some additional insight because, the plans were done at different times and they, one was surveyed, one wasn't.
Mhm. Yeah, I understand. If
So
you
there
don't,
could be
you know,
some
if you-
differences there.
If you
So,
fill things in and you wait long enough, then it doesn't appear to be a wetland anymore. But
Well, the wetlands are there. I can tell you, I know the wetlands are there. And
Mhm.
after going out there and seeing the physical flagging of the existing wetlands, I feel that he did a good job on identifying where those wetlands are. Cheryl, what do you think? Chase?
I'm not a soil scientist, so I can't identify wetlands in the field. I have to rely on the
Yeah,
experts' delineation. And, I mean, You
Well,
got
that-
two different people doing two different delineations, and without having the first person here to talk about their delineation originally, it's really difficult
Yeah,
to determine whether there's whether the second person is not reliable. However, the only thing I can say is that I worked with George Logan professionally when I was in DEP, for 20 years. And while I didn't always agree with his assessments, I never had an issue with, or I should say my colleagues never had an issue with his wetlands delineation. So I don't think that he would necessarily, make stuff up.
yeah.
I mean, that's really all I can say.
So,
And I'm not suggesting that he's making stuff up. I'm suggesting that in 2007, it wasn't, the requirements were not followed. And so more filling was allowed to happen. And now it has been there long enough so that it is not wetland apparently anymore. Because if you do that, if you keep filling in the wetland, eventually the wetland isn't a wetland anymore. And I find it, I don't think it should be rewarded, I guess. This has been going on for over a year.
Yeah, I tend
from a
to
personal
agree.
complaint.
I tend to agree with that. But there is a way to solve it, and that is to do the soil analysis and find out where the wetland soils are. And that's supposed to be, this is what Lenny's told me, it's supposed to be what defines where the wetlands are. So if you put fill on top of the wetlands, you drill down, take a sample and see if there's wetland soil underneath. I mean, that is a way of solving the problem.
well, let me.
The problem is we don't have that information right now.
Yeah. So let me just say this: that you can drill down in any place and find wetland soils, right? I mean, it's not the, I remember we did well, we were working with, when Rick Zulik was around, and there was a little road someplace, and they wanted to just put some fill down, and we were, the soil up on top was not wetlands, but he said, look, you can dig any place you want, and eventually you'll hit something that looks similar to wetlands. He said, but what we have to do is to be reasonable people. Now, I'm not sure how much of this, how much land or wetlands might have been filled, what the difference is between 1997, 2007, and today. My guess is it's not very much, if at all. All right. I have no way of knowing. And all we have at this point is a credible soil scientist signing his name to a plan saying this is where the wetlands are. That's what we have to go on. Unless we want to hire our own wetlands soil scientist, which we could do, and have another report done and an engineering survey done, which is our prerogative, and we could do that if we wanted to. But given that the amount of disturbance here, from what I can remember before and what it is today, I don't think it's terribly significant. All right. There's not a whole lot of difference between what Rick Zulik did and what the new soil scientists did. Okay. So today, trying to be reasonable, right? Looking at what we have in front of us, seeing that we have a very credible wetland soil scientist, a very good engineered plan. Everybody signed these things with their names and their licenses on them, saying, hey, this is where the wetlands are. Here's where we're going to propose our fence. We saw the engineered design of the fence, which we all agreed looks pretty good. The only question we have at this point right now is whether we want to use, allow them to put the proposed waste blocks in that location, or to put the fence, or both. I I mean, to me, I think that, you know, they have done what they could do. And, you know, I mean, unless the group says that we should hire our own soil scientist, hire an engineer, you know, and then start a whole new process, and hold these people accountable for something that may be pretty insignificant. At this point, for me, I believe that what we have in front of us is an honest attempt to you know, to protect the wetlands from anything further that might happen out there. There's clearly, they can't go anywhere past a 3-foot high fence. So, and that's what we have across the street, by the way, in a similar situation where they filled, you know, a little bit, you know, to level it out for the parking lot over there. And we put I think it's a 2-foot high fence, wooden fence. So
Lenny?
we're doing the same thing. Yeah.
Hi, this is Catherine. One of the reasons I did join this meeting tonight was because I received a complaint from somebody else. I didn't know that Cheryl was concerned about this. But I actually received a complaint from somebody else and was going to have Joe Thoreau go out and, you know, tell Joe about it. And I did speak to him tonight, to go out and see what was going on there. And that the only reason that I didn't pursue it before now is because of the weather, you know, with all the rain and then the snow. I figured he couldn't see what he needed to see. And I didn't know the history of this at all. But I will tell you that someone did call me, actually talked with my administrative assistant, and then asked to make an appointment with me to talk about this. So it was, you know, I didn't know where to go from there. I'm still relatively new to this job. And so I guess a couple things. My question is, do you have a picture of what the 2007 delineation was? Is there a comparison that was done, or is there a diagram like this
there's
diagram?
a file, but we don't have the file. If anyone would have it, it would be Joe. So
Yeah, Joe, I asked Joe to show me what he had. He offered to show it to me on Thursday.
Yeah.
After hours. The other thing is, I can't tell from this map. It's my understanding there's a road that they built as well.
It's a driveway. The driveway goes, you see where it says 17 feet, or kind of in the middle between the proposed fence and the building?
72.
17 feet. New gravel area. You see that?
No, but I'll find it.
It's not a road.
It's in front of the big fat black wall that's on there.
Yeah.
Right to
Okay.
about 2/3 of the way along towards the right. It says 17 feet.
It says
Okay.
new gravel area.
Okay.
It's just a driveway. It's no road. It's not paved. None of that.
Can you see my mouse? I don't know.
Oh, actually, it was Joe that referred to it as a road. I didn't.
Yeah,
I
it's
wouldn't.
well, not in this plan. It's referred to as a new gravel area, and it looks like it's about 17 feet wide.
Okay. And is that where they cut trees?
No.
The tree
And,
cutting.
and they need this because the only way that they could heat this building is I'm not sure if they have it in there, but there's an outside fireplace, you
Yeah.
know, and so they stack wood kind of in the back, and then they just feed the fire. So you know, and the logs that they use for that thing are big, so they back a truck up in that new gravel area.
Yeah.
Let drop the logs off, and that's how they heat the building. And if they can't get back there, there's no other way to heat the building. That's it.
That's a standard way you can heat a building? I mean, it's
Well, it's just,
not an issue.
you know, it's a shop, you know, it's not a house. So it's, you know, it's a
Yeah, and-
warehouse kind of a thing. It's got a small office in it. I don't know how the office is heated, but that's how the shop is heated.
So where those proposed weights, where were the term jolly blocks? I'm not used to that term.
Yeah,
Where were they before? Because
right there. Where you
filled-
see where it says,
they filled
see where
over
it says
them.
truck, see
yeah.
where it says truck box storage unit?
Yep, I see it.
Yeah, so the ones that are not colored in, those are existing.
Yeah.
And so
And-
what he's proposing is that he's going to use the same type of blocks in a little, in a little bit of a curved area. Which I'm assuming is, the edge of where the driveway is. It says that's it. That's where the edge of the gravel parking area is. And then beyond that is wetlands.
So when I was talking with Joe, he said that they, and again, they did this before, is that they, where the jolly blocks were, they filled up to the top of the blocks.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be able to do that, are you?
Yeah, they did it. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. And was it partially filled with pavement millings? Somewhere they put
Yeah, I mean, it was a
pavement millings.
Yeah, it's a combination of some, I remember some, some earth and some stones, and I think the top of it was probably some millings. Yeah. Yeah, but that was fine. That was fine.
Have you seen the pictures, Lenny?
Yeah. Oh, what pictures?
The pictures that are in the file?
I don't, it's been so long, I can't remember any of the pictures, but
No, from
They're relatively new, aren't
the
they?
last year, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I was out there and looked at it,
And
and
early
and
on,
we,
when
no, well, we had a site walk not that long ago.
right, but there were pictures of,
Well, so let me just ask you the straight out question. What is your concern?
my
If your concern
is,
is that there's a violation here of wetlands
Mhm.
being filled,
Mhm.
right? I mean, the soil scientist kind of said that, we're in good shape here based on what he sees. If you feel that there's some kind of a serious wetland violation out here, and you feel that you want to take this to the next level, well, I have to speak with Joe about it, but the next level is we got to hire a bunch of professionals and challenge, the wetlands report that was given to us, and challenge the engineering drawing that we have in front of us.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, tell me.
so my concern is that in 2007, rules were made for this piece of property. And I understand everything that you're saying, but if it was good enough in 2007 and it wasn't made to happen then, it wasn't enforced then, why would you reinvent the wheel and allow another proposal
Well,
with,
I understand. I mean, we approve a plan. We've hired Joe to go out there to monitor it. No one gets to go and do things in these upland areas without him looking at it. We assumed that we didn't hear from anything to the contrary, that it wasn't done per the way we asked it to be done. So, a lot of time has gone by since 2007.
right,
And
and
plus
so
another owner. We're not monitoring these every single property on a regular basis. I mean, we just don't have the people, for one thing.
right,
So
so when
things happen, we rely on, people to tell us, but we can't go out and monitor every single property. I mean, that's
So
not
in January of 2020, I first raised concerns about this. And several times between then and when the current property owner finally submitted his application, I raised more concerns with Joe. And this property owner was allowed to not follow the rules. There were cease and desist orders that he ignored. The previous owner had that same wood burning stove and didn't have to put out a super slab to get to it.
super slab. What's that?
It's the driveway, the
Oh.
drive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we could go back and we could look at the original approval and maybe scrutinize that a little bit more and find out whether or not everything that we asked for was actually done. That would be a good thing to do, and to find out. But remember, that was from a previous owner. So the new owner you know, I mean, the wetlands approvals go with the land. They don't go with the owner. So
Mhm.
whatever we approved, those approvals go with the land.
Okay.
So he should have known that, that there was a wetland approval on that property.
Mhm.
And,
The current,
hopefully,
the previous owner holds the mortgage on the property, so, and he is aware of what's going on.
oh, okay. So who owns the property?
Central Auto owns the property. Bob,
Oh, so the mortgage guy is not, but anyway, I get your point, that he's still involved somehow in the property.
right,
Um,
he holds the
yeah.
mortgage.
Yeah, but this is a new owner. He should be aware of what his limitations are on the property.
He's,
Clearly,
he-
he should have known that there were some wetlands out there.
mhm. And
Um,
he's familiar with wetlands. I
yeah,
believe his name is
yeah.
Robert Greco, and in 2013, he had a run-in with Rocky Hill, where he also was infringing on the wetlands and didn't respond to their wetlands commission and was fined for it. We don't have those things in place, but this is not his first foray into wetlands issues.
Well, there are consequences for for violating wetlands, but well, look, I want to move on because I've got something I've got to do at I'm gonna got to be in the hospital tomorrow, and I can't
Geez.
stay up too late. So I want to just move along. I don't think that we're going to solve this thing tonight. I think that we should wait till next month and speak to Joe a little bit more. Let's take a look at the file and the pictures and try to determine whether or not the approval that was given last time was actually followed, or whether maybe uh, through just time, something, the signs and things like that fell down or whatever.
Well, thank you for listening to my concerns.
No, I appreciate the concern, and so let's table this for now unless someone else has any objections. Again, we'll wait for Joe to come back. We'll ask him to review the approval of the last time, compare that to what's actually in the field today, see whether or not anything was missing from the previous approval. Um, you know, as far as the information that we have right now, I would just like to have Joe tell us whether the proposed waste blocks are sufficient in that location, or whether we should also ask for the proposed wooden barrier to go in conjunction with the proposed waste blocks.
Lenny,
Yeah,
can I say something?
yeah,
So first of all, I would also like to ask Joe to provide the photographs that I asked for the last meeting that he
Yeah.
said he was going to provide. So let's ask him for those.
yep,
And also, I don't necessarily think it's up to Joe whether the proposed waste blocks are sufficient. I think that we obviously need to make our own decision on that, in that respect. I mean, my personal preference would be to see the proposed wood barrier go the entire length, so that there's no question about where the edge of fill is currently. So that's just, I just,
yeah.
just
Well,
wanted
I mean, the last time we said that those blocks were sufficient.
and
Yeah.
they kind of got filled up so that they were accessible to the rear of the property, and they could do stuff in the rear of the property. So
Yeah.
um,
Okay. All
you
right.
know,
I get it. So, Bob, did you get those few points there? You want
Yes,
the pictures,
yes.
especially what okay, reviewing the file. We'd like, I mean, I don't know if the weather would allow it. I know there's going to be some more snow coming up soon. And, we may have to hold this off a little longer. The cease and desist order will remain in effect. The application is still ongoing. So there's no need to, I think we're still within the time frame that we have allowed to us. And I think that's the best we can do. I appreciate everybody's input. I really
Lenny,
do.
Lenny, can you tell me where the old wetlands line is on this?
Well, you're just going to have to refer to the old plan that Rick did. That's all.
We need to see them both on the same plan, really. I can't make a judgment from this.
I think they might have actually used the same base plan.
Yes, I know, but the wetlands line isn't there. All it is these little grass clumps that are
Yeah.
spotted about. It doesn't tell me where the original wetlands were, where the borderline was.
Yeah. Well, you just refer to the other plan, just refer to the original plan, that's all.
Well, we need a copy of that.
Yeah, it's in the file.
And how are we going to see the file?
Well,
If we're not there.
yeah, we're gonna have to, talk to Joe during the week here or during the rest of this month,
Any,
try to help us
any-
out. But if you put enough information in here so we can remember, I'll try to get to,
So
we can-
there's also a spot for meeting materials, anything that that Joe wants to show you, I can
yeah,
scan it in and put it in that
Okay.
folder.
thank you. Yeah, we were supposed to have had the pictures tonight and we don't have them. That's kind of a problem. So he said he was going to give them to us last time and we don't have them. So I'm glad Cheryl Chase reminded us of that.
And this is Catherine again. As I said, Joe offered to show me some
Yeah.
of the background in the file. Because again, I am learning. He offered to show that to me on Thursday.
Yeah.
So I'll be talking with him.
Yeah,
probably
and
then.
I mean, we've been there, but Cheryl Baker and Catherine, you can go with Joe and take a look at it.
Yeah, he has
know?
to ask permission of the owner. You
Yeah.
can't go on the property without that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been good to us so far.
I didn't want to look heavy-handed with him asking if the first selectman could come out there.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to appear heavy-handed about it. It was more that I
Okay.
had someone who complained and I just wanted to get a sense of what it was.
Yeah.
As it is, I have to say, I really appreciate the discussion you had tonight and, going through this and explaining this, different aspects of this and even having the drawing in front so I could see that. Because I can go back to the person who complained and I can say, this is what is being looked at right now.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah,
so I can do the follow-up. I like to do a follow-up on anybody who complains.
Yeah. And also show them the design of the wall, which is, the new fence.
I probably wouldn't go that far, but I would let him know that it's being looked at.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
I'm
It-
still,
you know,
not- I'm
Because
still
that part's not my job. That's,
okay.
you
I
guys do
appreciate
that
it.
stuff.
I like to move on because honestly, I do want to move on.
I still have to say something, Lenny.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm not happy with the just looking at pictures. I've actually been on site myself, and being on site doesn't tell you where the original wetlands were because you can see all this gravel that looks as though it's actually in the wetlands. And that means I can't rely on this big fat black line being.
All right, well, I understand what you're saying, Bob, and it's a good point. But I can tell you that when we were out there, we were standing on that gravel parking area and we saw the flags that the latest soil scientists put in there. And there is no gravel beyond those wetland flags. So I don't know how you can say that, but
Well,
so
we don't know
beyond
what
those flags, he put a lot of flags in there,
If we allow this, as it's written on this plan in front of us now, we don't know how much of the wetlands that used to be there are being encroached upon.
if there was any, if we don't know.
I'm not talking about if, I'm just telling you, we don't know. And,
Yeah.
I like to know exactly where the boundaries are before
Yeah.
I can make a decision.
Okay.
We could have lost 17 foot of wetlands here. And
Okay.
I want to know that. If I'm going to approve it, I want to know what we're losing. And I want to hear the justification for why we're losing it. So I
understand.
There's not enough
Okay.
information here. The wetlands delineation is not on this map. It's almost as though it's been left off the map, so we can't see the old delineation. We can only see the new one, which is perfectly, and this wall has been built right along the new line.
Oh, good point.
So,
Good
I'm
point.
I'm just not happy
Make
with
a
that.
note in the minutes that there should be a, some sort of a explanation or, how maybe, if we can somehow superimpose the old wetland line on the new plan.
Yeah, that's easy.
I don't think that a soil scientist, is going to take anybody else's line and call it the wetlands line, but at least make some sort of a note so we can, have a placeholder for next month.
Okay.
All right. Okay, I'd like to move on. So item number 5 is new business. And I don't have any new business. Anybody have any new business?
Well, there's 33 Amidon Drive is new business.
Yeah, that's the next one. So under that, A is the application. It's a new application, 33 Eminent Drive, Mrs. Tracy Smith, yard improvements and upland review area. So let me just read to you what happened at the last one. So in an email communication to Joe Thoreau dated January 5th, 2021, Tracy Smith indicated she would like to limit the existing permit application of September 1st, 2020 to tree stump removal and work to a staircase and stone wall. The commission was not clear about the exact nature of the work, nor were engineering plans or professional surveys available concerning the application. Chase moved to deny the application without prejudice, which was seconded by Michael. The motion passed unanimously. So basically what happened was that we had a lot of concerns about the application that was in front of us. And the biggest part of it, I think, was that there was going to be a built-in pool there, which would necessitate the engineering design of structural retaining walls. And that if these walls were not built correctly, and there was a breach, that water from the pool would end up in the lake, and there could be some detrimental effect on the lake itself. So we wanted to be very, very careful about how this was going to be designed. Now, what we did was we went to Sil Pauly, which is the engineer for this region, and he said several things. One of which was, "Hey, I don't have enough information to give you a definitive answer about what's happening here." And then he went on to say that he needed some quite a lot of additional information, and that information was such things as an engineered wall design, an A2 survey locating the the lake and the septic system and the well, and it was quite detailed. We gave that to to Tracy Smith. We talked about it a couple of times, and then we made sure that she got a copy of it. So I know that she got it. So time went by, we never saw any of the engineering that we were looking for, and so we decided at that point to deny the application without prejudice, which we believe is simply that she can come back, with a similar application when she was ready. So now what we have in front of us at this point is a much reduced application. There's no mention of a pool in here. There was a fire pit, and there was lots of details. In fact, there was an addition to the house. So that previous plan apparently has been scrapped, at least for the time being. And so at this point, they're looking for something. If you look at it simply, we can just thank you for putting that up. The removal of 3 stumps. They show us a plan and an approximate location of where they are. They wanted to put some new steps in and see what was that wall, which will have steps demolished in the plan. D, section of a transit level not permitted fence per plan. And then there was something about the lawn grading and so on. So tonight, I asked Joe, he said that we do have a complete application, we have a check. And so the only thing we need to do tonight is to decide whether or not we can accept the application. We've accepted applications with less information than this. So I see no reason why we can't accept it tonight, but I would like to have a short discussion about what we have. Is anybody representing Tracy here tonight? Nobody? Okay, so the applicant is not present. So the main focus tonight is to simply accept the application. And then again, I just would like to have a short discussion among us. I know Cheryl Chase had some thoughts, so I'd like her to lead the discussion. And then we'll entertain a motion to accept the application. So Cheryl, why don't you give us a little bit of your thoughts?
Okay, well, so first of all, in the application, what they didn't say there were demolishing steps. They said they were going to have 3 steps demonstrated in the plan. So that's what that means. But so these plans are a little lacking in detail. In that, I mean, I can't really figure out what direction anything is. I see that there's a house in the sunroom listed, but I see a fence and I don't understand where we are on the property. I can't figure out from these plans where we are on the property. I'm not concerned about the second one, which is also just randomly sketched, because tree stumps are probably not going to be in the water. But I have absolutely no idea, based on the first plan, where these steps are, and what they're planning to do. I don't really, I can't make it out. So that's my,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say they're the worst plans I've ever seen, but they're difficult to,
Yeah.
To follow.
Yeah, I completely agree. Bob, do you have any thoughts on what we have in front of us?
No, I agree with Cheryl.
Okay. Ken, how about you?
I agree that we really need some good drawings and plans
Yeah.
of things, rather than these off-the-cuff stuff that happens to be drawn in someone's kitchen table.
Yeah, I totally agree with all of you guys. I actually blew those things up and taped them together and tried to make heads or tails of them. And I've been out to that property twice now. And honestly, I can't figure out where in the heck all this stuff is going.
I give up on trying to understand some
Yeah.
of it.
So I think that we should probably do a couple things. One is we should instruct Joe to contact the applicant and to let them know that we believe that the plans are lacking in detail, and that I guess leave it at that. And then
Lenny, can I just clarify?
Yeah.
I know that Joe had made a comment about, he didn't think they were going to need engineered plans for something like this. And I'm not really sure that I would even say that they do. We just need something that's actually drawn to scale and readable. They could do it or whatever, but they need to use a ruler, and a measuring tape or something.
Yeah. He looks like he's got it well thought out. I mean, he's got, dimensions 215 inches, 81 and a half inches. I mean, he seems to know exactly what they want to build out there, but it's just not coming across to me anyway, and to you. So okay, so Bob, if you could make a note in the minutes that we would like Joe to contact the applicant, let them know that we have some concerns about the details in the plan that was given to us. We would like to have them attend the next meeting so that they could talk to us and tell us what's exactly what they're trying to do. And then we'll wait till the next meeting. Maybe at that point the weather might be a little bit better, and we might want to take another site visit. Okay.
Do we have to accept the application?
Yes, I'm gonna do that next, unless there's any other comments or questions. Cheryl, you have any more questions? Bob, anything more
No.
from you?
No,
Ken, how about you?
Is the Lake Association here tonight?
No,
no.
nope, we're
No?
by
Okay.
ourselves. Luckily, we've got
No.
the, we've got
No
the
questions.
first selectman with us.
No.
And Cheryl Baker, that's all we need.
All right. No questions.
We're in good shape. All right,
No questions.
so would someone like to make a motion to accept the application
So moved.
and a second?
Second.
Okay, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Right.
all right. And when last thing, let me see. Okay, so obviously no agent's report because there is no agent. Next thing there is item number 7 is members' comments. I do want to make one comment. So Joe sent us around the CBA education, training, planning, and zoning webinar, which is going to be coming up on March 6th, 2021. I have been to this live actually a while ago. It's excellent. And I would suggest that we all go to it. Now, I know that there's not, I guess some of our members have not been coming to the meetings on any kind of a regular basis, unfortunately. But Bob, I was wondering if you could maybe send a message out to the members and just remind them that there is a webinar on land use law, and that you need to sign up by I think it said February 15th. You can register for us, and I definitely would like to go. Would anybody else like to go?
So I've already signed up for that. So
Okay.
I'm all set.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Bob, you want to go?
I said, me too.
Okay, and Ken?
I have some questions about it. I'll talk with you later, Len.
Okay, sure. Okay, so I guess Cheryl Baker, could you arrange for at least 3, and I guess to Cheryl Chase to reimburse her?
You don't need to reimburse me. I'm good.
Me neither.
Yeah,
That was easy.
it's up to
So
you guys.
actually, what we prefer to do, because some of these organizations have to be given tax forms at the end of the year, we prefer if you let the town pay with a town check.
Yeah.
If you're going to go to these things, if we reimburse, the participants, then
Yeah.
we don't have the right.
That's the way we've done it in all the rest of them. As a matter of fact, when we used to drive, we used to carpool, and then whoever drove, there was some mileage that they got as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we spend a lot of time doing all this for free. I don't think that and we have a budget, and it's a legitimate thing, and I think it's very good.
Mm-hmm.
And I encourage people to go to it. So,
Training's always good.
Paid.
so Bob, again, if you could just send out a message to the members,
Yep.
to, suggest that if they would like to go, they should get in touch with me, and I'll talk to Cheryl,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll come up with the amount of money we need, and we'll have the town send it in. And let's see. I think that's all I have. Anybody else have anything they want to add tonight, or?
Move to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So
Aye.
thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Cheryl Baker.